go. Yeah, I just made it.
10 seconds to go. Just
kind of a bit sharp there, but yeah. Hello. The time just got away with me. Kirsty's not well, so she's up in bed, and I was doing something, and then I was like, "Oh, bleep!" So I ran in here and got everything set up. Anyway, I'm here now.
I think it's supposed to 6:30.
Yeah. Yeah, just got away with me. You should have texted me, Mark, because that would have reminded me. If it gets late, you need to text me.
I was 10 seconds off texting you saying, hello.
Hello.
Are you
just,
tonight?
I just ran. I was like, Jesus, well, nearly missed it, but yeah. Good. I'm here.
Yeah. How's your week been?
Yeah, kind of nice. We've had really nice weather. So I spent a lot of time out. I've done a few things. There was a few things that I was planning on doing, but didn't. But yeah, it's been a really nice week this week. Sort of spent a lot of time out of just soaking it up before it goes away again. Because I'm almost certain it's gonna. This is our summer, by the way.
Well, I didn't spend any of it outside because I got hit with a cold on Monday. Yeah,
I saw your live stream, and yeah, you were saying that you got a cold. Is it a cold or is it hay fever?
It's definitely a cold.
Ah.
Both me and Julie got it at the same time. Didn't help because the week before our eldest came over for Mother's Day and he had it, and we met our in-laws the Friday before, and Julie's dad had it. So no shielding whatsoever or letting us know. And yeah, both me and Julie came out with it on Monday. Julie had it more in her sinuses and stuff like that, but it affected my chest, which caused me off and back on the inhaler, which I need to go back to the doctors for now. And yeah, so it's not been a great week, but still managed to do the videos and still going. So
yeah,
keep at it. Just,
well, I hope it doesn't last as long as my cough did. Do you remember when I had that cough and it was like, I think I had it for about 3 weeks. It was a long time.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what I took, it just didn't shift it, and then all of a sudden it just went. So
well, my ears finally popped today, which been doing. Yeah. So hopefully things are better, but so we spent the week indoors, not really going out anywhere. Just
getting better. It's the best way, really, when you like that. You don't really want to do much anyway.
Not even really going to the chemist, ordering cold and flu stuff off Amazon Prime, which you can do.
Yeah.
So yeah, just having that delivered and not risk passing it on to anybody, even though other people passed it on to us. So, yeah. But yeah. So apart from that, quiet week again, ish.
Yeah, sort of ish. I think there's a build that's come out on D'Agostini. Is there a new car build that's come out on D'Agostini?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's been quite select this. So I heard it was coming out in Mexico.
Yeah.
And then some people had an email about it to pre-order, but you could search it on the internet and find it, which I did.
Yeah.
And I did find it. So let me share screen. So it is this, which is the Red Bull 919 or 19.
Yeah.
I mean, it says pre-order now. Shipping will begin in April 2025. So I don't know why it's not on their website. It's not on the website yet.
No, it's not on the main website. I was told about this. I was sent promotional stuff about this, but I always check the main site first, and it wasn't there. But like I had a link to it. I believe they start shipping in a couple of weeks. It's quite close, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've done F1 cars before, haven't they?
Well, I did the original Nitro Red Bull.
Well, I did the original McLaren that they did. Do you remember years ago they did the McLaren? Yeah. This is going back before things like the Millennium Falcon and R2-D2 and stuff like that. Yeah.
So exclusive gift if you subscribe today. So you get the racing cap. What you'll get in your first package. So that looks like that's the front nose cone. my Formula One knowledge is limited, but I do know.
I'm wondering if this will have now. When I did the McLaren originally, it all the advert stickers and all that were all decals.
Yeah, possibly. But
I'm wondering if these will have some decals to it.
The Red Bull racer I did was all decals as well. So looks really nice. I reckon there's a lot of engine work and pipes in there.
Yeah, I remember when I done the McLaren, it had the engine compartment could be taken on and off, so you could see the engine. I would imagine this will be similar. It'll have similar things. So I think the one I had, I remember you could change. It had two sets of tires. Yeah. So I think you had slicks and you had water ones as well, weather ones, and the nose cone could come off as well.
Right.
You could take the nose cone clicks on anyway, but it can click off.
There's not many pictures, to be honest with you. I thought there'd be more than this. So there's not many. I mean, I've gone through the website. I mean, there's the specifications. So 1/8 scale replica model licensed by Oracle Red Bull Racing, made of die-cast metal and ABS, detailed bodywork and chassis featuring all the aerodynamic intricacies of the original car, sleek signature red and yellow and midnight blue livery, steering wheel turns, the wheels that rotate, so yeah, normal. Rubber tires with 2 replacement sets of tires for alternative weather racing included, so there you go.
It does include them, yeah.
And a faithful replica of the revolutionary Honda RBPT 1.6 litre V6 turbo hybrid engine. So, yeah, 70 centimetres by 25 centimetres. Everything that's going to be in the magazine. So, the excitement of Formula One racing, a team of champions, step-by-step assembly. You can download the collector's guide. And then there's just all the information, questions, and everything. So there's no video for this yet. There's no like the pictures. There's not many pictures either.
No, there's just a couple there, isn't there?
Yeah.
All on the outside. So yeah,
there's not a lot of information about it really, as in what's on the website. I don't know whether when it comes to being on the main website, whether there'll be more and this is teasing us. But I mean, if this is shipping in April, we're nearly 1 week into April, so this has got 3 weeks and then it'll start shipping. So yeah,
I would imagine it will start shipping towards the end of the month. That's what I was led to believe anyway. But yeah, I'm surprised there's not a lot. It's a very basic website, but I know there's going to be a load of people. Like, there's a lot of F1 fans. But I think people are going to be over this anyway, because this is their I think it's the most modern F1 car that they've done. Yeah,
apart from the Legends of Ferrari collection.
I mean, in terms of partwork build, I don't think we've had a 2019 F1 car yet.
Free gifts. There's only that cat that's advertising at the moment.
It's just the hat at the moment. I'm wondering if this website, it's gone live, but it hasn't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if I can find out. Right, so price per issue is $11.99. So the first assembly stage only costs $1.95. The second and third assembly stages are free. Each assembly stage thereafter is $11.99.
Right.
So so that is a bit of a price hike, and there might be even more of a price hike on that one as well, as it goes on. Especially
if you're in the States at the moment. I would. If you're listening to us at the moment, you're in America. I would sort of prepare yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. So it does look nice. Like I said, I did do the original Red Bull when it was the Nitro car.
Yeah.
Very, very nice, but just completely out of my price range, to be honest with you. I just cannot afford one.
Yes, I'm not. I used to watch F1 many years ago. I'm not a bigger fan like I used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sort of a miss one for me, I think, as well. But
well, there we go. That's the Red Bull Racer. I wish I could tell any more on that one, but there isn't really.
There isn't a lot. No, there isn't a lot there. But if you put it in chat, Mark, and people can go and have a look.
Yeah, I mean, I think
and judge themselves.
Personally, I think there's more in a Harshette trial website than there was on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it looks like it. I don't know if that it's gone live. I've been told it's gone live. But that website makes it look like it hasn't, because it's not even on the main site like you were saying. So it's a strange one.
Yeah, I'm just making.
I'm sure come Monday it'll all be sorted. But as now, we can only show you what's there.
Yeah, but very nice though. I mean, we've had the Ayrton Senna Renault, we've had the Mercedes, and everything else like that. So yeah, maybe there might be some massive Formula One fans out there that really want to build that.
Yeah, the fan base is there, and like I said, they've done many Formula One cars, and they seem to sell very well. So
yeah,
I don't think they'll have any trouble selling this. I don't think, especially obviously if you're a Red Bull fan, this is straight up the street. This one.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, like you said, it's the first modern Formula One car that they've done.
Yeah.
And
they normally do They do older versions of F1 cars. We've seen 60s, 70s. We've seen like the 2000s and all of that. But yeah, I think this one's the first modern one. I mean, it's 2019 that version, so it's
by Formula One standards, from what I know, that is well out of date. If it's 2000,
it's out of date in terms of design, but in terms of like season, that's really quick, especially at the turnaround that a lot of these companies have, because obviously a lot of these Partworks that we're building are 3 or 4 years in development before we even get them. So I think that's quite a quick turnaround on that one.
Yeah. So if you fancy it, check it out. I'm hoping might be some more information once it goes onto the main website. Just have to see. So right, that's it. That's it for news. It's been
there's the other bit. There was, well, I don't know if it's news, but I sent you a message, didn't I, saying
right.
So in France, obviously they are building the Batman figurine, as we all know. And if you remember rightly, my brother built the RoboCop. My brother finished it of my French RoboCop that came out first in France. Now, originally, it was never going to come out over here. And then, because we didn't know, it'd been over, it took 2 years to build. So there was a lot like, if it was going to come out, it would have come out. And then people right near the end got the soundboard for RoboCop. And the French people, if you remember rightly, were not happy because it spoke in English.
Yeah.
And that gave us all hope, because we were like, hang on a minute, why? If you're speaking in English, it's going to have to come, it'll be released over here, surely, right? And then obviously it finished, and then Fanhome started doing it. And the reason I say this is because at the moment, obviously, in France, they're building the Batman figurine. They're on issue 109, so they're on the same sort of issue as we are with the Tumbler, exact same number. And this week they completed the base. In the base, it has spotlights, and it also has a sound speaker as well, which does phrases from the film. And the French guys were like, yes, we got it. They powered it up, and every single phrase was in English, which they weren't happy about. Now, some of them have said that it's easy to mod, which it is. You can swap out the sound cards and stuff like that. But it's an indication, well, it may be an indication that this gets released over here.
Yeah.
And you said as well, Mark, didn't you? You said maybe that's going to come out after the Tumbler finishes, because in France, the Batman figure finishes the exact same time.
Yeah.
So there may be hope.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
You remember at the time when the tumbler came out here, the French were in uproar because they wanted a tumbler, but they got the figurine. And then when we got the tumbler, we went in uproar because we wanted the figurine as well. But yeah.
So I would say we might get it when the tumbler finishes, or a couple of months after. They might do it. They might offer it in the newsagents, or they might offer it like they did with the Alien. Only time will tell. But it's interesting that that build is English in French.
Yeah,
in France. And like I said, they weren't happy that they got the English version of RoboCop either, and it should have been French, instead of English over there. But yes, it's worth keeping.
Can you imagine doing that to the Germans? Remember, the Germans are brilliant at complaining. I mean, we in England, we've got a plastic hull on our Titanic on the keel, but yet the Germans managed to get a metal one.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can imagine that happening in Germany. They would probably release the sound card that's in German.
Yeah. But like I said, it's keep your fingers crossed if you're wanting to build that. It looks really good. I've got to say, it looks really good. I'm debating whether or not to do it if it comes out. If I'd like to do it, but we'll have to see if it's offered now much, and all the bells and whistles that come with it. But it would go. I would say it would go absolutely lovely with the tumbler. The base, by the way, is big enough to accommodate the tumbler on it.
Right.
So my understanding is, if I built it, I would display the tumbler underneath his legs.
I would reckon that. I mean, I haven't been watching it being built in France. I watched some of it back, and I imagine it being like the Iron Man, where it's a very slow build to do.
It's like the Terminator. The figurine itself is complete. The last, because I think it's 120 issues. I think. It is. It's the same as the tumbler, and they've now completed the base. They've actually completed the whole figurine, but the only thing they haven't done is dressed him. Right. So over the next, I think it's over the next 10 issues or 11 issues, you start dressing him basically.
Oh, great! Batman with no clothes on.
Yeah, he's completely. Well, he's not naked. I was going to say it's a really strange endoskeleton sort of thing it's got on it.
Yeah, I wonder if that's happened with the Darth Vader.
Yeah, his boots are very weird. His boots are in two bits. So you get the main boot, and then his sole you glue on. It's not a main boot. And his bodysuit is it's a bit like the rubber that we had with the Alien.
Right.
So his suit's all rubber, his neck bit. And then basically what you're building over the last 10 issues is his suit. You're putting his gloves on, you're building up the leather stuff and attaching it and all that sort of stuff and putting trousers on him and all of that. But that's in the last 10 issues. But actually the figurine itself is complete. It's all finished.
Gosh.
So
naked Batman. I mean, what we had on the show, we've had Picard in Budgie Smugglers, naked Batman, and possibly a naked Darth Vader. This does not sound right.
But yeah, the figurine is well. It also comes with sort of a stand where it goes under his. I think it goes under his legs, so you can help him stand. So I don't know how well he can stand. The Alien stands fairly well, but this one's actually got a support for him. Goes under him. And the good thing is his cape is one piece. His cape is one piece, which is nice.
If you remember the Terminator, that stands. You've got to have that on a frame. There's no way that will. Yeah, his legs are floppy as anything. There is no support in those legs whatsoever. Yeah.
But yeah, I see. I've looked at it. It looks good. And there's enough space, like I said, to put the tumbler on. And his stand, his base is basically a corner of a building.
Right.
So it's got like a gargoyle on the corner. And it's like a brickwork of the building, and I think the tumbler, you could place the tumbler on it comfortably, and have Batman over the top of it, and I think it would look quite cool like that. I think it would look very good. But yeah, anyway, that's what, like, I said, that's the sort of the other little bit that we got. Just keep your fingers crossed if you want it. You might not, but yeah.
Okay, right. I'll go through some chat because it's gone a bit crazy. So if I have to stop and cough, just bear with me.
Okay.
Right. So at 1:28 yesterday was D Harris with a good Saturday afternoon, Mark and Kev. So good afternoon yesterday, D.
Good afternoon for yesterday.
Yeah, at 10:08 p.m. we had Will's Workshop, who says can't beat D for speed, but good evening all. So evening, Will, last night.
Hi, Will. How's it going?
And then at 9:22 this morning, we've got Flip Dip with good morning, afternoon, and evening. Bit early, but early bird catches the worm and all that. So, hello, Flip Dip. Welcome.
Hi, Flip Dip.
Right. Then we've got Spider Sprue, who says hello, Mark, on Mark's Modz channel. So, hi, Spider Sprue. Welcome. And then Spider Sprue says, hop, hello, Kev, on the Nexus channel.
Hi, Spider Sprue.
And then we've got Will's Workshop, who says evening again on Mark's side. And then he
I
also
will.
says, and a good evening on Kev's side. Don't forget to hit those likes. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Will. We've got David Phillips in, who says evening all. Evening, David. Welcome.
Hi, David. Welcome.
And then we've got Scott Duggan, who says evening all. Hope everyone is having a good weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully. If I got rid of this cold, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Andy Carroll says, evening, Mark and Kev. Hope you guys had a great week. Well.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy. Yeah.
Apart from cold, but yeah. Then we've got David Hawley, who says, hello, everyone. How are we today? Evening, David. Welcome.
Hi, David. Welcome.
And then Ian's World of Models says, evening, Mark and Kev, and all in chat. So evening, Ian, and welcome.
Hi, Ian. Welcome.
We've got Burgess in, who says, good evening all. Good evening, Burgess. Welcome.
Hi, Burgess. Welcome.
And then we've got David Hawley in, who says again, very good evening, Kev and Mark. So evening again, David.
Hi, David. Welcome again.
We've got Stephen Haynes Models, who says, hi, Mark and Kev. So evening, Stephen.
Evening, Stephen.
And then Will's Workshop says, with Agora saying they'll be releasing something that has a significant anniversary, I've been seeing a massive increase in Jerry Anderson and Thunderbird bits popping up in my feed.
Yeah, well, I think the anniversary release stuff is definitely Jaws. I don't think it's a secret that they've got the Universal license, and Jaws is Universal, and it's 50th anniversary this year. But there is a lot of there's a lot of Thunderbird stuff at the moment. There's a big YouTube video as well where they're making a new episode of Thunderbirds using the original way that they done it before.
Yeah,
the sort of motion stuff.
I was never keen on the other way of doing it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were saying it's sort of like a lost art, and it's just perfect the way it was filmed. So.
Dash Riptide Howard Zinu says hello all. Hi Howard, welcome.
Howard, welcome.
And then D says, Mark, you're never out of that room in daytime. LOL. I am. I do actually. I'm more in here on evenings than I am daytime. So daytime there's always something to do. Andy says, Kev, did you get put your clocks forward working still on Greenwich Mean Time?
I did, but yeah, I was doing something, and I looked at the clock, and I was like, oh, and I just ran in here, set everything up. Yeah.
I was super chatted just saying, sorry about your wife being sick, by the way. That is called dashed termed by Wayne, by a coffee.
Thank you very much, that's for time. Thank you. Yeah, she's gone to because she's got gallbladder problems. She's got gallbladder stones. She's waiting for an operation to take out her gallbladder. If anyone's ever had gallstones or gallbladder stones, you would know how painful it is. And she's had a stomach pain today, so she's gone to bed early. So,
I haven't, but I've had worse than that.
Right.
So, where I had to have surgery on my stomach, quite serious surgery.
Yeah.
We've got David Harley, who says the weather has been absolutely glorious down here in Plymouth. Long may it last. Lots of sunbathing. Lovely.
Yeah, it's been absolutely gorgeous. And then I watched Country File, and it said all this week's going to be the same. So bring it on. That's what I say.
Mm. Oh, we've got Kevin and Mary in who says, hi, everyone. Hi, Kevin and Mary. Welcome.
Hi, Kevin and Mary.
Nice to see you. We've got Blue Street Customs who says, howdy all. Hi, Blue Street. Welcome.
Hi, Blue Street's welcome.
Then we've got Chef Hawk in as well who says, evening all. Evening, Chef Hawk.
A Chef Hawk.
And we've got Jason Cadenola Bills who says, hello, everyone. Hi, Jason.
Hi,
welcome.
Jason. Welcome.
And then we've got Nick Barmer who says, evening all. Evening, Nick. Welcome.
Evening, Nick.
I'm kind of keep up here. And then we've got Burgess who says, not a Max fan, but I'm slightly tempted.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, with it being a recent, yeah, I don't know. There's nothing else out there like that, is there, sir?
Yeah, no, yeah. And I would say it's probably, I don't know if it's easy to mod or something. I don't know what. Like I said, the other, when I'd done the McLaren, a lot of the advertisements were decals.
Mm.
And it was the, if I remember rightly, I think it was the championship car that's what it was based on, the championship car that Lewis Hamilton won in. But I remember that because obviously it has their names on it.
Yeah. And
I think when it came with the decals, it gave you the option to change it.
Yeah.
And it also, I don't know if your one did. My one came with the crash helmet.
Yes, it did, but that served actually as an air filter.
Right.
On the nitro version. So.
Yeah. On the McLaren I built, I think you got the helmet as a one single bit, and you just plonk it on the seat sort of thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I found with the helmet they supplied you with the Red Bull, you had to put all the decals on the helmet, which was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was some, like I said, I just remembered a lot of the decals were sort of, there was lots on it. I remember doing the front splitter and the rear spoiler as well, where obviously it said Vodafone and you had to put it. But it was very tricky because obviously they give you the whole logo, but it's split into three on the spoiler, so you had to make sure it all lined up perfectly.
Right.
That was a bit tricky.
Yeah. We've got Ian Campbell in who says, hello, boys and girls. Evening, Ian.
Hi, Ian. Welcome.
And we've got Sprue and Glowing who's waving hello. Hi, Sprue. Welcome.
Hi, Sprue. Welcome.
And we've got Jesse Bricks and Bills who says the RB19 was from the 2023 season, but would rather Lewis Hamilton's 2020 Mercedes F1.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Possible. I mean, like anything, really. I mean, if they're bringing them out, then and if there's a huge surge for it, then they'll look at more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and they like doing the F1 cars as well. Cause, like I said, they've done quite a few now. So,
yeah. That's the link to the website for the F1 car, if anyone wants to check that out. Ian's World of Models says Red Bull with a pit crew around it would be cool.
Yeah, I think you could probably get someone 3D printing them, or there might even be figures out that you can get.
Well, either that or there, if they do a premium subscription, then that might be possible. But
yeah,
at the moment, there's just not that much on it.
No, it's very basic. Yeah.
Yeah. Howard says that's kind of why I'm waiting on some of my Partworks to get done with the higher pricing they've been doing. Yeah.
Yep. And with the tariffs at the moment, I think that's going to push prices up across the board, but I think more for people in the States, obviously.
It would not surprise me within a couple of years we're at £15 an issue. Yeah,
we've spoke about this recent on the channel quite a few times, haven't we? Really over the years, saying that I wouldn't put it past that we'll be paying $14.99 within the next year or two for an issue. Yeah.
Don't surprise me. Flip Dip says for F1Z, how hard can it be going round in a big circle? That's what Billy says.
Yeah, it's more of a NASCAR thing.
It's not the same as now. When I used to watch Formula One, I mean, they used to refuel the cars. They don't refuel cars anymore.
I think they do. I think they've have. I think they've got to have. Is it 1 or 2 refueling stops? They have to.
Nope, not anymore.
No? Oh, okay.
Start on a full tank and the end on that tank. There is no more refueling in pit stops anymore, which I found really weird because that used to be a strategy within Formula One.
Yeah.
Of refueling, but no, they don't refuel anymore. Gone are the good old days, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got Steve Edmonds in who says hello all. Hi Steve, welcome.
Steve, welcome.
That's the link on Kev's channel for the F1. World's Workshop says 1.8 Fab 1 would be good, but could you imagine a 1.8 T1 or T2 would be massive?
Yeah, that would be oversized. Yeah.
I don't think they do a 1.8 T1 or T8. Oh, sorry,
No.
T2.
T1 or T2, T3. No, they're too big. Far too big.
Only 1.8 you could possibly do with the Thunderbirds would be a Thunderbird 4 because that was.
Yeah, I was going to say Thunderbird 4 would probably be.
Yeah.
Size and scale for a 1.8 scale.
That would be huge. Even for 112, that would be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the original T2 one?
I don't know.
It was big.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the scale.
No. You mean the filming one?
No, the Partwork one.
Oh, the original model special. I can't remember.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I wonder if that was like 132 or something.
I can't remember. I know it was big enough because I remember I did get some of the issues for it, and I can't remember why I stopped it. But I remember building the cockpit, and it was big enough to see all the seats.
Yeah.
And it was like you could look into it. I think it was like the cockpit itself was quite big. It was about big. It was a big model. Wayne did it. I don't know if it's still on his channel.
132 then would be more like it, I would have thought.
Yeah.
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 Ian's Wilder Model says, yeah, well, I missed out on the T2 last time, so I'd like to build that. Yeah, me too. I'd do the Thunderbird too.
Yeah. It was if I remember right, it was a big build. So I remember you built obviously the first one, and then you had the option of the additional compartments.
Yeah.
And I think also as well, you could build the diorama hangar.
Yeah.
And you could have all the different sets. And I remember all the different sets had different, obviously, vehicles in them. So you had things like the mole and stuff like that as well in them. And they all opened up as well. So it went, because I don't know if it got extended or whether that was part of the build, but I remember it being.
I think it was part of the build.
I remember you built, obviously, the Thunderbird, but you also built the additional pods.
Yeah.
I think there was 4. I think there was 3 additional pods. I think there was 4 in total. And they all had different vehicles with them. And I think as well, they did a diorama as well, which was like half of the hangar bay. So you could sit it down and have all of them in there.
I remember it did lower and then onto the pod and then lift up off the pod. So I remember that was one.
It had loads. I remember it had loads of lights and sounds. Also, the legs extended out and they went down and picked. You could actually. It went over the pod and picked the pod up as well with it. It was it had all the bells and whistles on it, and I think obviously the pods all opened up as well. And I think the sides could come off them, if I remember rightly, because you could stick the little. There was if I remember right, there was loads of little bits in it. So, yeah.
JC Bricks and Build says, Kev, that's the newest shape of the F1 car in 2023. Yeah. And
I don't follow it like I used to.
RB19 is from 23. Yeah. I
don't follow it. Yeah, I stopped. I think it was around 2018, 17, around that sort of time I stopped. When a lot of the rules came in and the cars were all had to be sort of the same. And yeah.
Ian says, I've subscribed to the F1. I'm a massive F1 fan.
Yeah, I did think that Ian would have subscribed straight away knowing about that because like he's a big F1 fan.
Flipdick says the French should be happy. Batman speaks English anyway.
Yeah. There was some debate over the RoboCop one, and I think eventually what happened, what they said in France was, it was officially licensed audio, but they could only afford the original audio because obviously in French it's dubbed.
Yes.
And then they would have to get a separate license for them to dub it.
Right. Because
obviously it's dubbed by someone, so they would have to try and get the license for the person who dubbed it.
The thing about it is, though, if we were to get, say, something from a French or German or Italian, sci-fi thing or anything else like that had sound, do you think we would moan if it was in that language, if it was on their language?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure if we got RoboCop and he spoke French, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be not happy.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Scott Stuggan says, I'm building the French Batman, so that's really good news. It's English speaking. So,
it is indeed, yeah. Someone sent me the correspondence saying that they've got to that point, Scott, and then they sent me a video clip of it playing the phrases. Mark, you said, it's not very clear. No, and I was like, no, when I look at the bass is done exactly how the Terminator bass is done. It's even got the same soundboard and the same circuitry. It's even got the same spotlights from the Terminator. And the Terminator speaker isn't great.
No.
And I think that's the same way. Also, I think when he videoed it quite close, and it weren't very clear. So,
I mean, and the other thing with the Terminator is how often do you really use the sounds on it?
I use it because ours is on a unit. So we've got cube units in the house, and it's on top of the cube unit. And I use it to scare the cats off it because for some reason they love going through its legs, and I'm frightened they're going to knock it or pull something off it. So I do the sound effects. And they sort of just jump off it. So
surprised you don't do that with the Alien.
Yeah. Well, it's not got any sound effects. It just lights up.
Yeah, but it freak them out if the head moves.
Oh yeah, I suppose. Yeah, would yeah.
Or if the front jaw came out.
Yeah.
So, Philip Nip says, "I bet the Germans are the first putting their towels out on the Titanic deck." Yeah. Probably.
Yes. Yeah.
Howard says, "Well, it is an English movie. At least it's not speaking Russian or Chinese." Yeah,
no, that's a good point.
Burgess says, I'm halfway tempted with the RB19, but I got enough on my plate for now." Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah. I'm tempted, but the only one that I've got finishing near soon is the Optimus Prime. That's it, really. So
yeah, I was actually going through a lot of this. So the Optimus Prime and the Skyline will be finished around the same sort of time.
Even though the Skyline started out a long time after the Optimus
Prime. And I will finish those two and the Enterprise build before I finish RoboCop. Because you only get 4 issues in RoboCop. And we're only on, it's 100 issues, and I think we're only on issue 70 or something. And obviously Optimus Prime are in the hundreds. We're in the 80s now with the GTR. So yeah, it's all gonna finish around the same sort of time. But yeah.
Then wonder what fan home I've got up their sleeves.
Oh, lots. I would imagine that. Yeah, they've probably got a lot coming out.
Howard says E.T. looks like it's going to be all built before we get the skin suit.
Yeah, I did see that. It's like a big tower.
Yeah.
I would imagine you would have to build some sort of endoskeleton over that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll do that with the body and it would just like flump in. It would just sort of, it wouldn't fit properly. And I'm wondering as well, huh?
There's still quite a bit to go on that. So there's still like the arms to build,
Yeah,
and everything else like that. So there's,
yeah, and the base, because I think it comes with a base anyway, doesn't it? It's already on, like, but I think there's a base to it. And yeah, you got the arms to do, but then I don't know how the skin is. Is the skin one piece? Is it two pieces like the alien? Do you have to stitch it together? It's going to be interesting to see.
You know what? If I'd built that ET when it was finished, you know what I'd be doing? I'd be getting a Viagra, putting it in its mouth, and then growing its neck, and there you go. But that's just me. That'd be an awesome video. I dare somebody to do that.
Oh, someone's going to. Someone got to. I think, you know.
Put a blue pill in there, and then just watch its neck rise. If you're building that, go for it, because that'd be an excellent video.
Yeah.
Will's Workshop says we'll hopefully be live streaming again this week with the U-Gears Drifting Cobra. Looks like a good build.
Lovely.
Yeah. I've done a couple of U-Gears things and they are quite good, apart from when something breaks. That's the only problem. And
yeah, they're all wooden, aren't they?
Yeah, and you also need to make sure you use plenty of wax on them as well to make sure everything runs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will's Workshop says if anyone gets the opportunity, go see The Shark is Broken. It's a brilliant Ian Shaw. It's brilliant. Ian Shaw is the double of his dad.
Brilliant.
So, I don't get to see many shows. I don't know if Julia would really want to come and watch something like that with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Burgess says, no idea when I'm next stream will happen, but I got a few ideas.
Lovely.
So, yeah. D says, Mark forgot MasterChef making the lasagna, LOL. I just do that for some shorts because I get bored. Apparently that's what they say YouTube is at now. You should be doing shorts because it gives you a lot more income than,
Yeah, it's, they've, have you also seen I don't know if you read them, but I always read when every month YouTube sends you an email about changes to policy and stuff.
Yeah, more or less every month.
Yeah, I read them every month because I'm just like that. Anyway, this month it said that they're now going to start. Numbering your videos. You know, before you had to watch it for a certain amount of time. Now you only have to click on the video for a second for it to count as a view.
Oh, right.
There was a load of other stuff in there as well, but I saw that one. I was like, oh, right, okay. So if someone accidentally clicks on your video, even for a second, that counts as a view now.
No, that'd be all right. My views are down for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I need to bring something new and exciting in, but
yeah,
the same old with me.
Yeah, mine goes up and down all the time. So I don't know why it does that. And it's weird. So some people unsubscribe, which is fine. And I always find that I get one unsubscribed and then I get like 6 subscribers and then I'll get like 2 unsubscribed and then another 6. It's really strange.
Yeah, YouTube's strange.
Yeah, it's a strange place.
D says, evening all on Kev's side, only one screen tonight.
Hi, D.
And Spider's Brew says, get better, Mrs. Nexus.
Thank you very much. I'll let her know.
Will's Workshop said, has been lovely in Plymouth. Been to the Yelvy today with the kids and then home for a few beers in the garden. Why not?
Lovely. Yeah, go on. Why not? Yeah.
JC says, there was only the one option for the D'Agostini 2008 Lewis Hamilton decals, as I got one myself too. See, I never got that, so yeah.
Yeah, there was loads of decals on it, but I think that there's a lot of places that do decals anyway. So I think if you wanted to put your own decals on it, you could. But I thought that there was a change of name on it. I might be wrong. It was a long time ago, 2008. There you go. So
yeah.
long time ago.
David Holly says, is there a problem at Harshette with the Tumblr? I'm a premium sub. 2 weeks late now. Phoned them last Monday to chase it up. They said give it till Friday, but still no sign of it. Not happy at the moment.
Yeah, I did post it on Facebook Messenger and in the group that someone let me know that there was a week or two delay with subscribers for the sub, but some people have started to receive them now. So you might get it through. Oh, and on that note, I want to just say something on that note. There's only 2 boxes left now for subscribers. And you know when I said, oh, the last box would have 2 issues in?
Yeah.
It's not. They are going to be doing 4 issues and 4 issues.
Right.
So your next 2 packs, if you're a subscriber to the Tumblr, will be 4 in the next pack and 4 in the last one.
Will says, I want to use some EL wire with it and 3D print a couple of lampposts to light it all up. That looks nice. Sounds nice.
Yeah, that would be good. Yeah.
Matthew Fieldhouse says, Partworks like these always have small delays. 2 weeks, not long, really. It is, but if you do, I mean, if you're like me, who I'm doing mine week by week, when you got a bit of a delay, it can be a bit of a pain. I've had that with the Lancaster bomber lately, and I've had to sort of slow. I've had to
big things around
just so it can be. I can have it regular every week. So
yeah,
it can be a pain. Yeah, Ian says no refueling in Formula 1 at all anymore.
It shows you how long I haven't watched it.
Yeah. I only found this out after watching a documentary or something. I'm like, what? They do not refuel anymore?
Is this Formula E? Are you sure you're watching the right one?
No, it's Formula 1. They don't. It's classed as too dangerous, apparently, to refuel.
That was part of the strategy.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was so much overtaking when they there was a point when I remember watching it where you would be hoping who was going to come in first, who was going to come in behind, are they going to pass as they come out, you know, where they're coming out.
How much time they spent in there refueling, how much fuel they were taking on, to how many laps to build. Yeah, none of that anymore.
Wow.
Crazy. D says, can remember Lewis Hamilton's Formula 1 car years ago, stopped the build halfway through. Yeah. And then Ian said, need V10s back and refueling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Barmer says the T2 was 144 scale. I was well.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And Burgess says refueling is a safety thing, but V10s would be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things, you know, with all these with everything going electric and everything. It's one of those things that's, I know it's come up lots, and how much fuel they use and all that sort of stuff over the years.
Yeah. D says the amount of laps have been reduced due to compensate with the no refueling now. Yeah.
No.
Too much.
Too many rules. Too many. Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Didn't I see as well that Lewis Hamilton get disqualified?
I haven't got a clue.
I think it was in the last the Chinese Grand Prix, the opening race. He won, but I think he got disqualified or something.
I don't know.
Something to do with the car. There was a mod done to the car apparently that wasn't kosher.
The last mod I remember being done to a car was when David Coulthard and Mika Hakkinen were driving a McLaren, and they put an extra pedal in there that did something. That's all I can remember. And I was actually surprised I could remember the names of the drivers, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, that's what I remember. Burgess says, but endurance racing does refueling just fine. So, yeah, I don't know. There you go. Spanish Brew says, a lot did with the R2 when they got the wrong language.
Yeah.
Oh, the R2D2, yes.
Yeah. I think a lot of them got German ones, didn't they? And there was a bit of a problem with that. Yeah.
Edmonds has put, didn't some people get the R2D2 get the hologram speaking in a foreign language?
Yeah.
I don't think we got that on the first run.
No.
We got it. But I think the second run with Fan Home, there was the problem with foreign speaking holograms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've actually been working on mine.
Oh.
Yeah. Been working on
what have you been doing?
Cleaning it up, checking all the bearings, seeing if they really need oiling and stuff like
that.
Oh,
right, okay.
General MOT, and then I'm going to switch it on and see if it still works. I haven't switched it on in about 8 years.
Oh.
Well, look, I took the batteries out of it a long time ago. So when we moved,
yeah, I don't think they leak. I don't think the batteries leak or anything like that. I think they hold quite well. So
when we moved from this house in Melton to Dewsbury, I took the batteries out and I've never put them back in, but I've stored the batteries safe away and they're still fine. So I've been cleaning it, putting the batteries back in, and I just need to test it and everything. So Flipped It says apparently they're going to do a sequel to the original RoboCop, forgetting the terrible RoboCop 2. Now, hang on a minute. Is that RoboCop 1, RoboCop 2, and RoboCop 3 as the original RoboCop Kev's building, or the remake of RoboCop with the black RoboCop that I haven't got a clue what happened in that one?
I don't know. I know that there was talk of them doing a new RoboCop film, but if you can't have Peter Weller in it, then it can't be the original. So
yeah. Ian says better swallow, otherwise just gets a stiff neck. LOL.
Yeah.
Andy Carroll says, Kev Mark, what was the shark's name? Bruce, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, Bruce.
Yeah, I think it's on documentaries and that. I think Steven Spielberg named it after his lawyer, if I remember rightly.
Ian says, Mark, is that an image behind you? I say it as it's always looks so tidy. No, it's not an image. It is that tidy.
Yeah.
I just very, very, very tidy. It's my one tidy space in this entire house that I get to keep my own. So
Right.
it's very organised, very clean. Everything I know.
Not mine. I've got stuff everywhere. I've got magazines here. I've got Star Trek ships here. It's everywhere. Yeah.
No.
It's a sort of I put a lot of stuff on this desk, and then I just put it in here when I'm doing something, and it just sort of builds up.
This is how bad I am. I had Julie laughing her head off at me because I labelled the hangers that my build t-shirts go on.
Oh right, okay. Well, that's good enough. So you know where they go.
She said, "Well, why do you need to label the hangers that they go on?" I said, "Well, like the other day, I put them into wash. I need to make sure they go back on the correct hanger." She just found it so funny. So,
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah. Flipped It says, Mark, you could go Jamie Oliver route, the naked modeler. I don't think so, because if I drop a scalpel, I am not travelling to hospital with that stuck in me. Ian says, I'm going to have a chat with Wayne to see if we can get us all the guys together. That'd be brilliant.
Well, that would be really good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, me too. Will's Workshop says, you will like tomorrow's, my lad. It now has some paint, although members can watch it now.
Cool.
Yeah. Flipped It says, is Nigel Mansell still driving? I think he's definitely retired now. Yeah. Yeah. Same as Murray Walker. He's definitely retired now.
Yes.
Howard says, I'm thinking that D'Agostino will probably put out the 89 Batmobile and probably the orange car from Fast and Furious movie. That's my guess. Possibly. Yeah,
I think the Toyota Eclipse is going to come out. That was pretty much confirmed at the Nuremberg Toy Fair. And I think like I said, the 89 was always going to be a winner, I think, anyway. So,
yeah. Howard says, so you're telling me they don't even redo the tyres? Nope. So as far as I'm aware, the tyres you arrive on the weekend, you have to use them for qualifying and racing.
Yeah, I know that much.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I think they have to strip them after every race, don't they?
Yeah, I can understand there's recycling and waste, but come on. I mean, Formula One, they can afford it. David Hawley says no refueling in Formula One. The engineers have to design fuel use to last the race and tune the engines. Also, the risk of fire in refueling.
Yeah.
Not the same.
No.
Howard says the poor kids now, they can't be on their phones, so they drive less so they can social more. Yeah.
Yeah.
D. Harris says, cheers, Kev, for the spoiler. LOL, haven't watched any previous Formula One races.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought, no, it was a couple of weeks ago, I think. I don't know if it might have been a spoiler, so I do apologise if I said that. But
Robbie Silver says, excited for the Darling.
Yes.
Yeah. Ian Campbell says, I went to Silverstone years ago with F1 V10s. Took days for my ears to recover. Yeah.
I bet it did.
Yeah. Burgess says, Lewis got disqualified for excessive bottom plank wear. Leclerc got disqualified for underway. What the heck is excessive bottom plank wear?
I don't want to know.
Yeah, okay. Ian says, you're going back to the late 90s, Mark Ellerfeld. Yeah. That's how far since I stopped watching Formula One.
Oh, no.
Advice, do not keep your batteries in your builds if you ain't using. Take them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Especially if they're the standard, like AA ones, especially if they're like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Holly says, going to say good night before we run out of time. Cracking stream again, guys. Thank you. Thank you, David.
Cheers, David.
Flip Dick says, didn't Murray Walker die? Yes, he did.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recently.
But
yeah.
At his age, when he retired from Formula One, he was still standing up the entire races and commentary.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Will's Workshop says, don't use batteries, power mod everything. Well, I'm going to be doing my own power mods now because unfortunately Ian's not around. And I've worked out how I can do it as well. So, yeah. Getting there. David Hawley says, Murray Walker did die some 2 or 3 years ago. He was a legend, though. He knew his stuff. Andy Carroll says, well, Mark and Kev, that time again. Great stream. See you guys next week. Bye to all in chat. Keep safe, everyone. Night. So thank you, Andy. Good night to you.
Cheers, Andy. Cheers, Andy. Night.
Ian's World Model says, another great stream, guys. Catch you next week. Same time, same channel. Thank you, Ian.
Cheers, Ian.
Burgess says, Nigel Mansell is retired, but his kid is climbing the ladder to F1.
Lovely.
David Holly says, sadly, yes, he is gone. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
D. Harris says, push me good night, Mark and Kev. Until next week, live streams are night.
Night, D.
Hang on. Ian Campbell says, if Partwork upgrades ever come back, I think we specialise in certain stuff. Not saying it will, but never say never. There you go. You
okay,
yeah. Dean says Murray was a legend.
Yes.
Jason says, good night, all.
Night, Jason.
Today's F1 car drive faster when scraping the ground, so plank wear is measured. Ah, right.
Okay.
Spider Bruce says, night all. That was a quick, great stream. It was quick.
Yeah. Night, Spider.
Says, good night all. See you all next week. And that is chat.
Well, lovely.
Wow. I managed to do that without cold.
Yeah.
Cold, thank goodness. Anything coming up this week, Kev?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'll be reviewing this.
Right.
We've also got Fast and Furious that I was going to do this week, but I'll be doing other stuff. And then obviously the usual Dalek Tumblr videos. RoboCop and Optimus Prime should be here this week. So, yeah.
Okay. This week, guys, it's boring on my channel. It's just the normal stuff, the normal day. I'm going to have to do something different. liven things up. Right, so D says, sorry, that meant to say any live tomorrow night. I think Dano's live tomorrow night. Are you, Kev?
Yes, I am. Yeah. I'm back to the normal 7 o'clock spot because the last 3 weeks I've been doing it at 6 o'clock. That was because WWE was being played at 7 o'clock in the evening because they were here in the UK. So I was watching it live. So I went on an hour forward. So, but back to 7 o'clock. So.
Okay. And Burgess says, night all. And
night, Burgess. Night,
so that is me for tonight. Oh, just one last thing from Howard says, build the Constitution, Mark. I can't afford it, Howard. Honestly, I'd love to do another wooden ship, but I can't afford it. I'm maxed out. I'm on a pit benefit and it's not much, so I'm very limited to what I can do.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you everybody for tonight's comments. Thank you for watching as always. We'll be here same time, same place as always next week. But yeah, just leaves me to say I've been Mark.
I've been Kev.
And we'll catch you all next time, guys. Night all.
Good night, guys.